Hi folks, finally got warm enough out here in the main shop to do a little work, even though I've had a window unit heater going for, man, nearly 3 days now. It's been so cold. I can finally get out here and take it. I'm going to continue on right now with making the vice shelf, storage unit, whatever you want to call it. Something I needed for a long time and finally getting around to doing it. Going to be down and dirty. There's no fancy joints or anything in this. I want it to be really rock solid, heavy, solid, and not fall apart. We're not going to rely on carpentry joints. We're going to rely on brute strength fasteners. For all of you that wanted to know, the scraper bits have been sold. In fact, I got them boxed up right here. Thank you all for the interest in them. This one's going to Rick over in San Antonio. So it'll be in the mail tomorrow, Monday. Right now I need to finish cutting out some cleats to make the shelving unit. And so I'm just going to show you how I go about it. Not a lot of talking. It's going to be hard. I think I can do it. Basically, this thing's only maybe a sheet and a half of plywood and 3/4 inch and some 2x4s I had left over from the last set on the play. I'm going to rip these down to 1 by 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch and make some cleats out of them. Follow along. I got my old Pyromatic saw hooked up here, and I usually use a dust collecting system on it. This is one I've had for years. The collector's upstairs on the mezzanine. When I get around to it, it's going to be hooked up to that cyclone up there. And that cyclone will take the dust particles and the big chips. We're going to come down through that pipe right there and go into a trash can under that workbench, which I'm really undecided on what's going to come of that workbench. I got plans for a really nice little chop saw table, but I don't use the woodworking section that much, and I don't know if it's really something that I want to devote that much space to. We'll see. Anyway, I got a remote control for the suction system. I hit it down there, and the motors upstairs start running. What I'm working on is just a little down and dirty storage shelf unit for all my machine vices and rotary tables and drill press vices. I got a lot of them running around here, and they're all over the place and they get dirty. So I figured I'd make a little shelving unit here, and I'm getting old, so these things are getting heavy again. So I need some way of putting these heavy devices into the shelf, and that's why I'm building it like this. You might want to notice over here. See those carts? This one over here goes up to 55 inches, and in that box is a rotary table or an L&S dividing head, actually, with its tailstock and all the accessories, and I need some place to put it. With that lift cart, I can raise it up and down to all the different shelves on here. Make it easy on myself. According to these high-tech dimensions here, I need to make this thing where it is 67 inches tall on each side, and then it'll have a top sitting on it. So I need 2 pieces. I even marked it over here. God, I'm good. 23.5 inches by 67. I better cut those out of that. Those 2 won't make it. Talking about those there. That'd be 7 inches too short. But I need to get you guys 67. This piece right here is going to be 29 inches. I'm doing it that way because I'm working out here by myself, and I can make this table saw do all the long cross cut on there. Just need to move everything over. Doing it this way, I'll get enough material for one of the shelves out of this cut off. What I'm going to do is have a series of these cleats on this to hold the shelves in place. There could be 200 something pounds on each one of these, so I want them to be where they don't really break down. Use the back side to put these on. So I need to cut these and maybe put a little chamfer on it. I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I turned my cross arm to 15 degrees. And I want to put just a slight bevel on here so it's just not a straight edge hanging down. And because I don't have the rail system and the marking system on this machine like I usually have, I'm just going to come up here and put that edge on a mark on the table, which from this one's just going to be this red plastic. And that way I can make them all the same without having to do anything fancy. Guys, I'd like to pass on something to you that happened to me 48 years ago now. I went to work for my uncle. My uncle was probably one of the best carpenters that I know ever, that knew how to make money and be a carpenter, and that's hard. I started off in 8th grade, 7th grade at school wood shop, and they teach you how to read a measure and all the things that go along with woodworking. I'm a very precise person. I deal with 10,000ths of an inch on a regular basis. And when I make a telescope mirror, I deal on a 1,000,000th of an inch. I show up the first day to this job site, and we're putting some siding on a gable. So he sends me up to the 2nd floor, and I'm supposed to yell at him, and he's going to cut the boards and pass them up. So I get out my old trusty Stanley 25 foot that I've been using forever, and I measured the length of the first board, and basically we're going to go and make a gable that rises. The first board starts short and goes on up. Well, if you do it right, he can sit down there on the ground and take one measurement and start cutting and increasing it up that pitch by knowing the angle. So I'm down there eager to please, get my old tape measure out, and I say 65 and 1/16. Boss looks up and he goes, "What? 65 and 1/16?" He says, "Did you say 65 and 1/16?" I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "We're here to make money. My tape measure has 1/4, 1/2, 3/4. Which one would you like?" "I'll take 1/4, sir." And we went on and got along just fine from that. What that taught me was there's different things, excuse me, I'm trying to put this in words that make sense. Different projects can use different measurements. It's just like in machining. If you get a print that says plus or minus 3/1000ths, hey, you got 6/1000ths to play with. If you get a new engineer that drew those in plus or minus 3/10,000ths, that's a different ball game. This is a down and dirty cabinet for holding stuff out here in the shop. It's not going in my kitchen, so it doesn't have to be down to the 30 seconds. Just thought that was an interesting story that you might find useful sometime. Well, to make this fast, down and dirty, I need to attach these to each one of these sides in a manner that's quick and strong. I can't screw from here into the 3/4 inch plywood and be strong. I need to be screwing from the 3/4 inch side into the 1.5 inch side. So, instead of turning this over and playing with it and all that stuff, I just went and got one of my nail guns, and I'm looking for some nail that will hold it until I can flip it all over and turn it and nail it. I've got two choices. I've got a pretty heavy duty nail and an angle, then I've got these brads. And these brads will be just fine. So I'm just going to throw some glue on it for the heck of it, but my glue bottle seems to not want to pull loose. It's got a little bit of stuff holding it. Quick trip. Take a hammer, your glue bottle, hit it like that, voila. Okay, two of them set up, ready to go. Just got to make the shelves. Well, now that all the shelves are on, I got to cut the top piece, and I always make it where they lay on the top instead of in between them. Problem with doing things like this is now this thing can rock back and forth. So it's got to have a back to quit doing this. Can't pull that in. I don't have enough hands. Well, I don't have enough hands, and I need to pull this top piece over here about 1/8 of an inch, and it's pretty tight. So I'm going to cheat. Old carpenter's trick. Put your nail or a screw in the piece you need to pull over. Put your hammer there. Pull it over. Drive it home. Now I got to figure out what to do back here. In a perfect world, I'd go buy another piece of plywood, but this stuff was $67 a sheet. It's not the best in the world. I'm gonna see if I can make do with some scraps to fill this in. I think I have some 1/2 inch that I can piece in here, and it'll save money and work too. Well, unfortunately, I only got 3 pieces because it wasn't a 8-foot piece. Let's see what I can do. Someday I'm going to finish this or tear it out. I'm not sure which. Don helped me build it about 3 years ago, before COVID hit. And life changed when COVID hit. You know, before I used to do a whole bunch of cabinet work, and now I don't want to do that anymore because I'm supposed to be retired. said about down and dirty. Can't do it with that piece. Another old trick I have. Buy these at Northern Tool for 50 bucks. Fat people can roll around on these. Well, now I got to find a place to put it, and that's it right now. Have to be moved later on because of the gantry, but I'm doing what I can when I can. It'll be a two-stage move here. Someday I'll figure out what I'm going to do for an anvil stand. I have an idea to mount it underneath my welding table. Until I get to that project, Mr. Anvil has been sitting up here on these an old hot water stand, hot water heater stand. So now I got enough space for in here. Uh-oh, God, I've messed up the cat's water. Cat will be furious. So will the wife. Go. And if I need to, I can put some screws in through the back bracing into some studs, and then it'll never go anywhere. All right, what else have I got to do? I got to go find a vise. Level 3, women's lingerie, sporting goods, machine tools. What else could you want? Guess I should show you what's in there, huh? It's all the goodies. Just got to get it a nice home, and there's where it's going to be. Okay. It's back up here in the grandstand. Now, I think I want to be able to turn it around so that I can open the lid if I need to. I thought about painting this thing, but frankly, I think I'm going to soak it with oil. That way, it'll have a high oil content in there, and everything that rests on the base shouldn't rust. Ta-da! We need another one. Where's another one? Need more? No, no more. I'm tired. Well, I hope you get the gist of this. I just needed some place to store these things where they'd be kind of safe and try to keep the dirt and grime off of them. I got about 5 or 6 more. Frankly, I'm too tired to go get. Got a couple dividing heads. Anyway, I'm not going to paint it. Maybe someday the outside will get painted. But I got other things to do with paint right now. The inside. Originally, now on the inside, originally I was going to put Formica on top of these shelves. I don't think I need to, and I think I've got a better plan. I'm going to soak this with some oil. That'll protect the wood, and more importantly, it'll protect the bottom of the vices, because they'll be sitting on old wood. The last part of this project, that's pretty sturdy, is going to be a door for it. Now, doors take up wall space, because I want to be able to pull this thing in easily, raise it up, get the thing out I need, and then leave. If I were to have a swinging door or a hinge door, I need some place for that door to go. Now, yeah, it could come out over here, but it still could catch on this, and I just didn't want to mess with that. I could split it and have half go to each side, but as you can see, wall space is limited. So what I'm going to do the next time I have a suitable piece of wood, I'm going to put a couple pegs on top of here, and I'm going to put a piece of aluminum screwed to the plywood with a hole in it that would fit on those pegs, and I'll just lift it up and put it in place. And that'll hang down. Everything will be oiled. The moisture will hold at bay in there. I think it'll be okay. Thought of roll-up cloth drawers, accordion doors, the doors that you used to put in roll-top desks. I just think that those are all overkill. So when I get some plywood, I'm going to put a cover over this because that'll help keep the dust out of it. Anyway, that's it for this project. Now we're going to go move the rails over, and in the morning I'll start cutting on them suckers. Thanks for watching.